Some people are going to leave, but that's not the end of your story. That's the end of their part in your story. Eye contact is way more intimate than words will ever be. Walking alone is not difficult, but when we have walked a mile worth 1,000 years with someone, then coming back alone is what is difficult. No matter how bad your heart is broken, the world doesn't stop for your grief. I wish there was a word more than a love itself to convey what I feel for you. The most difficult aspect of moving on is accepting that the other person already did. Sometimes the best way to be happy is to learn to let go of things you tried hard to hold on to that are no longer good for you. Love yourself for what you are, instead of hating yourself for what you are not. It's love when someone can touch you without using their hands. Sometimes your eyes are not the only place the tears fall from. Sometimes we don't have a choice in where we come from, but we can definitely choose where we go from there. I think part of the reason why we hold so tight is because we fear something so great won't happen twice. If a man cries in front of you, it doesn't mean he's weak. It means that he trusts you enough to let his guard down. There is no home as comfortable as your father's arms and no bed as soft as your mother's lap. People don't change. They come closer and closer to who they really are. Never carry the baggage of your past relationships on the honeymoon of your future relationships. But when nothing in your life happens in a positive frame, it is difficult to think positively and hope for the best. Remember, someone, somewhere in some corner of this somewhat big world, is out there crying if you're unhappy and is happy if you are. And you know who that someone is. Life is too short to wake up with regrets. So love the people who treat you right and forget about the ones who don't. I could take back those moments that snatch you away from me, or maybe just wipe away those 10 minutes when you came to me for the first time and I looked into your eyes to realize what love is. One of the symptoms of having a broken heart is the fact that even ghosts will give up on the hope of scaring you, as you have already lived through your worst fear. And it worries me how misunderstandings exist because people would rather have a hole in their heart than to talk their issues out. Perhaps that is the real surprise of love. It exists, but one may not attribute causes and effects to it. The existence may appear to be a mere fallacy to the minds of some, and by the time they realize what hit them, they would already be down and dead. Not watching the path where his legs took him, he walked on because he knew he had to walk ahead, leaving his past behind. There was only one four-lettered word having precedence over life itself, and it was love. To have someone understand your mind is a different kind of intimacy altogether. Maybe we feel empty because we leave pieces of ourselves in everything we used to love, and then we have nothing left to give anyone anymore. I wonder if I could take back every "I love you" ever said to you, would I do it? Love me, even if it's a lie. Leave me, yet never say goodbye. It was going to be a long, dark night, but not quite as dark as it was in the abyss of his heart, where there was nothing but hollowness, yet it felt heavy, almost as if someone still resided there. I inhale loneliness like it is the sweet smell of virgin earth conquered by fiery raindrops. Within me, I'm 1,000 others. Did you ever wish that you had a second chance to meet someone again for the first time? Ever wondered, how do you kill yourself without actually dying? Simple. Love someone who doesn't love you back. Whenever the cloud of ego threatens to engulf me, I remind myself of my roots. It helps keeping my feet on the ground. Who would have listened to his tales of woe when his love was the flickering lamp over his own decaying tomb? I eyed her like a thirsty traveler in the desert looks at a pail of water. The growth of my love story had been gradual, but my success had always existed, and both coupled together formed a deadly combination that was detrimental to our love. I wanted people to love me. She wanted them to leave her alone. It was not one folly that Shakespeare talked about. If love truly is but a myriad of follies, then I have committed them all. That can mean only one thing: I loved her truly, madly, deeply. Love, he asked himself, giving no sense of recognition for that word in the dictionary of his mind. It was the only battle he had lost in life. The only thing had been snatched away from him before he could even claim it. When you love someone, you become immune to the hurt because you don't love hoping to get something in return. You love because you have to. In its extreme form, it is a need to give, not a need to get. Silence has its own language, and in that silence he found words within himself, words for her, words for him, and words for them. Competition was as much as respecting your opponent's work as introspecting on your own. That night it did not rain as much in the sky as it did in his heart.